I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. It's very nice to meet you. Um,
Nice to meet you too.
Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to watch Chief of War, but I am very excited to talk with you about it. Um,
If you do, I apologize in advance. It's a lot.
oh no.
Just, there might be tears. I
Okay.
may have been ugly crying at one point in several episodes.
Um, is it cool if I say that I'm looking forward to it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Why we go watch rom-coms when we're feeling really depressing. We just need to like have an ugly cry to some beautiful romantics. That's what art's all about.
Um, so speaking of Chief of War, what are we in for? What is this story about?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, to summarize, it's the telling of Hawaii's unification under one kingdom, Kamehameha's leadership, but it's told through the eyes of Kaiana, who is a controversial member of Hawaii's history. And I think it's a beautiful way for us to approach the nuances of history and war specifically, because war is, as Luciani Buchanan speaks about it in a couple of her interviews, war is felt in many different ways and by many different people, and depending on whose version of the story you're telling, it either has a winner or a loser, often though it has both.
Right, right. Um, So I don't know much about the history of Hawaii, and I don't know how many other people do as well. So with this being told from the Hawaiian perspective, like what was it like getting to step into those shoes? And it was a weird way of asking the question, but like what was it like getting into that, getting to tell that perspective, that side of history?
I fully understand. It's one of those things. I feel the same way when it comes to talking about the show because it's so hard to really break it down, and it's something that's I think for us as Polynesian, it's something that we feel. We feel, and that's why many of our stories get told through dance and through singing because it's the story you're trying to tell sometimes goes beyond words. It comes through feeling. Um, and I think that's the beautiful part about art and why I think it's such an incredible medium for us to tell this story because yes, we can read it in history books, but history books can kind of sometimes it takes the human out of the experience. And I think as actors, it's literally our jobs to give the human perspective, to take things that are big ideas and bring them down to the human experience. And for me, telling this story was like the epitome of that. Um, as an Indigenous person myself, as somebody who is very proudly Maori and proudly Polynesian, it's hard to put into words what it feels like to actually get to tell our stories from our perspective because you can access our the knowledge through history books and sailors journals and retellings through children's novels and children's books, but through this show we got to not only tell our story, but also be at the head of the decision-making process, which is something that isn't, you'd think it's something that's just done, that's just the way it should be, but it isn't necessarily. Many times the stories that are being told aren't being told by the people who these stories belong to, or they don't have the people of the origin a part of the process. So I think it's really special for, and what I'm so proud of when it comes to being part of this production is being able to redefine what it is to tell stories and how we do it in a way that is both authentic but also honoring the people where the story comes from. And I think that's an important part of our TV and film entertainment industry that I wouldn't say is lacking, but I think is not a given. And I think hopefully with shows like Reservation Dogs, Shogun, and now Chief of War, we're getting closer and closer to being able to bring authenticity into the creative process because I think that's what makes art magic.
That's amazing. And I do not know how to pronounce your character's name. So who did you play and what is
That's okay.
her role in all of this?
So I play Kupohi, also known historically as Ke Kupohi. She is the wife of Kaiana, or as many people call it, the wife of Jason Momoa, um, which has been a fun and interesting role to play in many ways than one.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I think it's funny because I play his wife, right? And everyone's like, "Oh my God, what's it like working with Jason Momoa? Oh my gosh, Jason Momoa, this." And yes, I get that. I mean, for me personally, I've never really been on the oh my gosh celebrity train. I think being an actor, I've always been very much aware that they're just people who have found success and society holds them onto these massive pedestals. So I think I came in going, oh yeah, this is another fellow Polynesian actor who's paved the way for more representation in our industry. And then I got on set and I realized, oh, this isn't just an actor. This is the director, the writer, the producer. This is a man who has literally dedicated his entire career to being able to get to this point, to be able to tell his stories, his people's story on their terms. And so it was kind of perfect, if anything, because I think Kupohi in the show, she stands beside her man as most partners would with their significant others through this journey. And because it's told through his lens, trying to find an authentic and honest way to represent companionship and through such extreme circumstances like war and death is really hard. But when you're doing that with somebody who's literally going through that, who is going to war for his people in the artistic space and pioneering this indigenous storytelling arena, it becomes very easy as somebody who believes in that ethos, it became really easy to take that personal experience, me as T, who recognizes a fellow Polynesian as a leader and a pioneer for his people, and just go, sweet, cool, I'm on that kaupapa. I believe in that journey. I believe in that message. And it kind of I don't know. It just filled in the blanks a little, and I went, this is my bro, and he's our leader, and I've got you." I may also think that you're a bloody weirdo sometimes, but as a weirdo myself, I think that's kind of cool.
I mean, that's the best relationship to have.
Oh, absolutely. Although I'm pretty sure every now and then he's like, "Oh my God, this one again." I honestly became like an annoying little sister. Like the age gap is big enough that I feel like we fell into this sibling relationship, which was really weird when we got to the intimacy scenes. Because I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm kissing my cousin right now.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, yeah, bit odd, bit odd.
So, in keeping heritage and culture and authenticity in mind, this is 2025. So, how did you approach playing your character while balancing everything with modernity?
I think I've been very lucky. It was really easy for me, and I think a lot of that has to do with where I've come from. I mean, I come from a very small community, like we call it a village. I mean, granted, when I think about cities in Aotearoa and the size of cities on your side of the world, I'm like, well, to be honest, my town probably looks like a village to you. But when I say village, I mean like population less than 600 people, and a lot of us live to the ways of our ancestors. So we live off the land, we grow our own vegetables, we hunt for our own meat, we dive for our own seafood. Um, so in terms of I've always actually been the opposite. I've found it really hard to adjust to the modern world, because other than having technology, I've kind of lived very traditionally growing up. So coming into this show, for the first time, everything was easy because I understood. Nothing was foreign to me. I was like, oh yeah, we still do that back home, which I think is kind of nice because I'm realizing, I think this show taught me that those things that I consider normal where I come from are actually privileges. And it's given me a deeper, I think, sense of gratitude for those practices because I'm realizing more and more as I get older that they're less common and they're not as accessible to our wider communities around the world.
Yeah, no, it's definitely incredible how in touch you are with your culture and your heritage and getting to actually embody this character and it being easy for you. Um, it like for someone like me, it's not as easy to kind of go back and understand uh roots and my family and stuff. So it's definitely like, oh, I'm jealous of you. Like I wish I had that
I
too.
am, but I I think that's my hope with Chief of War, though, is because I'm realizing more and more that that is the reality most of our global family live in, and I'm like, well, I hope this show being made in 2025 makes our wider communities think that maybe it is possible. It might not look the same as how my world looks. I mean, I live at a time capsule, literally. It feels like a time capsule where I live. But I think the show goes to tell, this show is a great example that we can still reach out for that and it's still available to us. Thank God for technology. It's now available to us. It's just about, I guess it's wanting it enough to figure out how to integrate that into our lives. And that's not easy. But as somebody who's on the other side of the coin, I think it's great, and I think everyone should do it. I think it makes us better humans all round. It gives us a deeper appreciation for, I think, our world's history and a greater respect for each other as well and our differences.
No, I think it would as well. Um, in addition to acting, you are also a founding member of ICANN. I hope I said that right.
Yep.
Can you explain a little bit about what that is, why it was formed, uh, and kind of like what its mission is?
I mean, so I can was kind of a happy, well, no, I'll say what I think it is, which is I think it was the ancestors seeing what needed to be done. So when I said yes to this job, I had a really hard time accepting it because as somebody who's Polynesian, understand the significance of sharing our histories because that's what it is to tell stories for us is it's about sharing history because that's how we share our history. And so I think I remember having a hard time accepting it. And so I went outside and put my feet in the ground and I actually I made a call out to the ancestors, a prayer of sorts, and said, look, if this is really meant for me, if I'm supposed to do this, if you think I'm the right person to be telling your story, give me a sign. And if I do, I will do everything in my power to make sure that I am worthy of this. And I said, I will literally use every resource I have in my power. And for me, that comes from my family's work in social development and social and kind of. trainings and workshops. It's all about uplifting our Indigenous communities. Um, and so when I got the sign, very obvious sign, I went, okay, cool. So that's the sign. So when I came into this project, I showed up and I just turned to Jason and I went, right. So I do this thing where I create programs and workshops for youth to come in and just be creative and feel like they can take hold of their stories and tell them in a beautiful, artistic way. Can we do that while we're filming? And he went, I don't know how to do that, but I have two people who I think might know what to do. And so he connected me to Brian Keaulana and Angela LaPrette, who are our two Hawaiian producers. And we sat down and I told them what I wanted to do and why I wanted to do it. And they went, this is amazing. We've actually always wanted to create a community that supports our local artists and industries so that we can kind of bring more people who are inspired into this space because it's really hard. And I realize after being in this on stateside, it's a lot harder there than it is here, for sure. So it started off with workshops. We got our cast involved and we did a couple of workshops in Big Island and Oahu. And then people loved it so much, the community loved it so much, and I can't remember the name of what you call the person who's in charge of the arts sector of the government on Hawaii, but that person got wind of it and thought it was amazing. And so she ended up saying, hey, well, if you want to do this on a larger scale, we've got some ideas. And it was only because it truly was one of those things where things were kind of we were just doing the thing. I came in to just do the thing that I promised Kupohi and the Hawaiian ancestors that I would do if I got this job. And it turned into I can. And I kind of went, much like everything else on this show, the ancestors are watching and they are hearing and listening, and I better not screw it up. And so we carried on, and it gave birth to this beautiful thing called the International Cultural Arts Network, also known as ICANN, which is essentially an organization dedicated to creating a space where young artists of all walks of life. Oh, sorry, I've lost a headphone. One moment. One moment, caller. Um, uh, sorry. But yeah, it became essentially an organization dedicated to uplifting Indigenous storytellers on in Hawaii so that our artists here would be better equipped the next time a big project came along, whether that be High Surf Rescue, Chief of War Season 2. I'm putting it out into the universe. We're getting a Season 2. Hear me, ancestors. Um, and it's continued that. I mean, I being that I'm based in Aotearoa, it is really hard for me to actually be actively involved in ICANN, but I'm certainly from here cheering on the sidelines and whenever there's an opportunity for me to support the kaupapa, support the movement, I'm definitely all aboard. But at the moment, it's actually being led by two incredible artists, Lucy Hare and Alex Tarrant, alongside Angela LaPrette, Brian Keaulana, and Lupaki Suka, who are all based on the island, essentially just creating workshops, events, gatherings to bring together the creative minds of Hawaii so that they have a stronger support network because this industry can be cruel sometimes and rejection hurts, especially when it's repeated over and over again for years on end. Um, and hopefully provide training programs so that we can bring experienced artists from Indigenous backgrounds into this space to instill, I guess, wisdoms because it's hard when you go, at least from my experience, when you go to an acting school, it's all well and good. They teach you the skills, they give you the toolkit on what it is to act, but what it means to be an actor is something you end up having to figure out on your own. And so a big part of what we created at ICANN is about teaching, it's called what I call a tuakana taina system, where the elder experienced person comes in and teaches the next generation from their lived experience to give them more well-rounded practical knowledge to approach an industry. And it's something that my family have used in a lot of their different programs, and it's something that I've always thought was really powerful and helpful. It's only ICANN is only young, so we'll see if that model still works here. But hey, dare to be wrong, right?
Right, right. Well, here's to hoping the best for it, for sure.
Just hoping.
Um, so in addition to manifesting season two, what's up next for you? What are you currently working on?
So I'm back in Aotearoa and I'm really lucky. Aotearoa has a thriving, strong TV and film industry. And that's where I got my start. That's where I've learned all my skills. And that's where I've come home to. So I recently finished a project called Te Rapunga, which is a Māori TV show. Very different from Kupuohi, where Kupuohi is this traditional mana wahine. My character on Te Rapunga is a social media influencer flight attendant who has no idea what she's doing in the bush and no survival skills to save her. So it's a fun little balance. But it's really cool. Similar to Chief of War, it teaches you a little bit more of the Māori culture and the stuff that you might not see every day and kind of put it into a real life experience of let's put you all in a bush and see what happens.
I love it. I love it. Um, Amazing. If our readers want to stay up to date with you, your work, keep up to date with ICANN, just where can we follow? Where can we follow you?
So you can find, let me just hold on. So I do get this right because I'm terrible. Actually, full disclosure, I'm crap at social media. I know I'm young enough to be to actually, know how to do the things, but again, old school village kid, social media wasn't really something I practiced a lot growing up. So I can be bad at it, but I'm working on it because people for some reason seem to care what I'm up to now. So I'm trying. Um, but you can find my handle on Instagram, which is T no coffee, TEENO coffee. Um, you can also, when I'm on there on TikTok, is TikTok still a thing on your side of the world? Did the ban eliminate TikTok, or
Uh,
is there still a TikToky community?
as of right now, it's still going strong, but who knows?
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Because I lost track. All I remember is seeing something going, it's banned, and then another headline going, wait, hold on, it's not banned yet. No, vague. It's very vague.
Yes.
But I'm also on there um, with same similar handle. So T not coffee. So TEENOT coffee. But if you want to keep up with ICANN, if you're in Hawaii and you want to do a workshop with them, or maybe they're doing a show, their handle is ICANN, ICANINTL. I highly recommend. They're doing some awesome stuff. There's workshops coming up. There's writers' workshops, stunt workshops, maybe even a show, fingers crossed. But yeah, I highly recommend checking them out and supporting them because they've got some growing to do, but there's definitely a lot that can be done with that program.
That's awesome. Um, Thank you so much for chatting. I'm very much looking forward to Chief of War and scavenging for some of your other projects. Where can we find those?
I think so. Head High you can actually watch on YouTube now. Think Kiwi Friday Night Lights.
I like it.
But yeah, I think they I think they've dropped a bunch of the episodes on YouTube because people have been asking for it. Because a lot of our stuff is actually only available here in Aotearoa. But slowly but surely we're coming out to the world, apparently through YouTube, which is very random.
Little bit, but glad it's making
Yeah.
its way here. Um,
Hey, look, Aotearoa, we might not be fully up to date with the world, but we'll somehow get there. Just might not be through regular means.
and that is a-okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for chatting. It was a pleasure getting to meet you. I hope you have a
And
great rest
you.
of your day, and I wish you all the best with your projects.
You too, you too. Have a good one.